evening, everyone, and welcome back to Lil Tren, We Have a Voice. Before we get started, I'm going to give everybody time to join in. Now let's get started. So today I have a phenomenal and fantastic guest and my co-host as usual. But before we get to that, for those who don't know me, my name is Trinity Davis Floyd. I'm 10 years old, and I'm an author of 3 books. I'm an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, actress, model, singer, CEO, and a podcaster. And the reason I made my podcast is because some adults, I'm not going to say all, because not all, some overlook the youth and the children. So I made this podcast to prove that we could do anything we put our mind to the youth, that we could prove that we could do anything we put our mind to. So without further ado, I would like you to help me welcome my co-host, Mr. Young Sean A. White.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing out there? Happy Friday to you all. Just looking forward to a very excellent, exciting show.
So I would like you to help me welcome, honestly, one of my favorite people. That's right here, Mr. Reggie.
Greetings, everybody. Hey. Thanks for having me, Trinity.
No problem. So, this evening, we're going to have a fantastic evening. But, little bonus question before we start anything. Are you nervous?
No, I'm not. I've been blessed to do a lot of interviews, Trinity.
That's good. Me too.
I know. You're doing great things.
Thank you. So, please introduce yourself and let the heartbeats know what you do.
Well, my name is Reginald Foreman. I'm a father, husband. I am an entrepreneur, author, speaker, certified life coach. And what I do is I empower people. I help people to recognize their pain and turn it into purpose. So I travel around speaking, counseling, coaching, and I do a lot of other great things with TV, toy line, some good things that God has blessed me to do.
Wow, that's a lot, and it's phenomenal. I think I said it wrong,
but thank you.
Yeah, I said it wrong.
You said it good though. I got you.
Yeah, indeed. And everybody, welcome again to another special episode. We'll be happy here, Mr. Reggie in the house. And I have a question to ask you, my friend, because you do so much, and I can most certainly, relate to that as well. So, just a beautiful thing just to hear that, that you're finding ways to really impact the community and others at large. I'm just curious here, how did Reggie actually, let me go ahead and pull that question back up here because I want to make sure I'm asking you correctly here. How did Reggie and the Lions and Friends come about?
Reggie the Lion and Friends?
Yes, sir.
So Reggie the Lion and Friends came about through pain, to be honest. I was married before I met my purpose mate, my wife now. And in that marriage, my ex-wife was having a problem having children. And she had uterine fibroid. She had a problem carrying children. And at that time, we had twins. It was my son and my daughter was in her young. We were traveling all over doing speaking events in Baltimore, New York, all over. I was speaking, Philadelphia, and then about 15 weeks into pregnancy, I was downstairs watching TV. I'll give you a little PG because the kids on here, but I went upstairs and my ex-wife was standing over a puddle of water, which I knew at my time that couldn't be good for pregnancy. But because I'm a big faith man, I said, there's no way God will allow anything to happen to my children. And I just stand bold. And she said, maybe because of the pressure on my cervix Maybe I peed on myself. I
Mhm.
went back downstairs. I was watching TV, and an hour later, I heard her worst scream. And I went
Mm.
downstairs, and she was sitting out on the edge of the steps, and I looked, and two little feet was pushing out. To say it
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So at this time, it was real hard because we had the best of both worlds. We had a boy and a girl. I was 40 years old. We didn't have any children. She was 36. We had problems before, and you finally get blessed with kids, and you get a boy and a girl, twins.
Right. Wow.
So we rushed to the hospital, and the doctor said, "I'm sorry to tell you, I can tell from the sex of the child you lost your little girl."
Mm.
So in the midst of her losing my daughter, there was no time for us to be depressed because I told her, "You got to stay strong because you still have my son in there." And so the doctors were operating on her cervix because she had a problem with the growth in her to keep him in.
Okay.
About 21 weeks went by, I think, and we was in a hospital, and I was on the side of the bed, laying in the hospital about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I hear the doctor shuffling around, and the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck. He couldn't breathe. So they
Wow.
had to perform an emergency C-section on my ex-wife. And my son came out. He was so small. He was a preemie, but he was screaming. So I said, man, praise God that he didn't have to be revived.
Right.
But, weeks into him being alive, we found out he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So cerebral
Mm.
palsy is a deform in the body and in his head. Sometimes you walk. But I'll say this, man, through God, he's 7 years old now. He's powerful. He's been on stage with me. This is one of his books. This is his book.
Mm.
He's
Okay.
been on stage with me, the Cerebral Palsy Champion, where he goes on stage with me speaking at 5 years old. Now he's 7 in his wheelchair. So God has made it a strong thing with him, my son. But anyway, after that, I made sure that my ex-wife was in the hospital. He was in the NICU. And I went home and I prayed to God. And I was frustrated. I was like, how does this help your will that you allow my children to be gone or hurt? And while I
Right.
was in the midst of being angry, what flashed before my eyes was MADD, which stood for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That's an organization when a lady lost her 13-year-old child to a drunk driver, and she turned it into something. A big organization that's been out since the 80s all over the globe.
I remember
That
hearing
brought up,
about that. Okay. I know you're
yeah,
talking about
Mothers
that.
Against Drunk
Mm-hmm.
Driving. So when
Mm-hmm.
I was praying, God showed me that, and He was showing me, for you losing one child, you're going to make a global, you're going to help children all over the world. And what
Mm.
flashed before my eyes, literally, was a vision of a dog.
Mm.
Reggie Lion. And so Reggie Lion, this is the prototype. This is
Okay.
my guy. He speaks positive
Hey, boys
affirmations.
and girls, remember what I always say. Prayer is powerful. Prayer is just having a conversation with your Heavenly Father. Remember, no matter what you're going through, you can ask your Heavenly Father to help you. Prayer is powerful.
No.
Hey, boys and girls. Reggie the Lion wants you to know that learning is cool. The more you learn, the smarter you'll be. Remember, if you don't understand something, always ask questions. Bye-bye.
So this is a prototype of Reggie Lion. He's a plush dog. He's got 4 different clicks. And so we just went from there, man. And when I tell people, man, my little story, man, I'm an ex. I went to prison for bank robbery. I was in the streets of Chicago, in gangs, Miami. I got illegally sentenced to 18 and a half years. They let me out for 3 years and said they let me out by mistake and came back and got me. So I've seen the streets, prison, gangs, and all that, shift from house to house like an orphan. And then when I changed my life after being out, I was able to get on CBN, TBN. I've been on Black Enterprise. I was a speaker starting the fashion line. So I have been through a lot of things before Reggie Lion came. And that's why I tell people I help them turn that pain into purpose.
Good for you, guys.
So yeah. So Reggie Lion turned into books from there. We got the children's book. And we just went for it. So it's like 8 characters. This is my son's
I think it's
character.
camera's freezing.
Can you see me now? Are we good?
Tranny? I think her camera's frozen too.
It ain't frozen on my side.
Yes, we're good.
But while she comes in, go ahead, Mr. Roti, continue. You were saying?
You can see me now?
Yes, I can.
So yeah, one of the characters I was able to turn my son into a character. This is his plush doll in a wheelchair. And yeah, so Reggie Lion was created to be just like Mickey Mouse, a faith-based. 8 characters, a TV show. And then 2024, we started our own TV show that's been on streaming on platforms, Roku, Amazon Plus, what's the cable channels down in Alabama, Florida area. And it's because like I said, Reggie Lion was birthed out to help children all over the world.
Wow. Amen. Yeah, that's powerful, man. I love by the way when that vision came, and even though you was at a point where you were like broken and you were searching for an answer, and I can relate to that so much in terms of my story, but it's not about me, it's about you. Maybe one day, me and you had the opportunity to chop it up, and I'll tell you as far as my testimony. But what I also heard too is that during that you had a choice. You could have either just not paid any mind to that vision that God gave you and said, "But Lord, I don't understand it. I'm going through so much. I
Yeah.
mean, this is not the way that I envisioned it, right? I envisioned it, but instead you took that as a sign and you ran with that.
Yeah.
And that to me is very, very powerful, especially for entrepreneurs, because I just had a conversation with one of my business partners, and one of the things we talked about, it's one thing to study, it's one thing to get the signs or opportunities, but it's another thing to apply it and take immediate action. And
That's right. That's
because of
right.
that decision that you made, create a whole entire brand, and now you're just benefiting not only yourself but countless others that are in your space and be able to absorb and take full advantage of your content. And so, hey, brother, I definitely commend you. Absolutely.
And I
Miss Trini.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. Trini?
Okay. Sorry, I was having issues with my mic. Yes, but Mr. Reggie, I heard your story, and I just want to say you should speak on that more because that's really powerful. And
Thank you.
yeah, really powerful.
Yeah, that's what I've been blessed to do. And I always tell people, when you can take your pain and turn it into purpose, you can see how life, trauma, or the enemy, we call the devil, whatever, didn't get it. He didn't win. So that's what I do. I travel all over telling podcasts, writing books. I've written 8 books. I'm working on my 9th book. And it's all about telling people that, and I've had more than, like I said, I was illegally sentenced to 18 and a half years for bank robbery. They were not supposed to charge me twice. My brother got shot in the head. I've seen a lot to whereas I could have gave up on life. And like, I'm sorry, what's your name again, sir? Chris? What's your name?
Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
Just like Sean was saying, yeah, I don't see it as a transformation. But just like Sean was saying, man, as I counsel people, certified life coach, a lot of people don't move past the pain. And they can. There's always a next, there's always a shift. No matter what you've been through, God, you might be mad at God, don't want to believe him. And I obeyed God in prison. I didn't find him. I done had people draw knives on me and everything. And then I said, God, I was cursing God out. Where the F were you when my mother was beating me? It's on my documentary. Where were you when these, dudes were chasing me home to Chicago projects? Where were you when my mother was beating me? I had it out with him. And God said, are you done yet? He spoke to me in a cell and said, I have a plan for you. And he said, there's purpose in your pain. So everybody has pain. I just try to get people to see you're creating his image. You're gifted. You just got to find out what you're going to do with it. And you have to be able to persevere. Hello? You on mute, Trinity?
Trini, unmute your mic. There you go. There you go.
So I forgot because she wasn't here. I forgot, but today, well, like always, I have my mommy as my comment person.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lil Tren. We have a voice with transformation greatness. This is and Small Business Network. This is episode 374, and I would like to welcome Mr. Ryan. I'm horrible with names, so if I messed up your name, I do apologize in advance. So we have Ryan Wickland line, who is watching. We have Anthony Floyd, who is watching. We have Miss Alberta Gordon, Daniel Toad, Mama Patty. We have Pastor P, who is watching.
Denise Ramey.
We have Miss the famous Miss Ruby Clark, who is watching. And we have the famous and lovely Miss Foreman. Miss Latanya is watching.
That's my wife.
Love. We also have Denise Ramsey who is watching. Daniel Tobe says, I want a Reggie the Lion.
So do I.
So
yeah. That is the plan. The Reggie line is still in production, so that's the prototype right now. We do have shoes. If you not have seen Trinity advertise these, we have our own shoes. We have T-shirts, hoodies. We have the books, and we have book bags.
Yes.
Can you ship me a book bag?
You know I work with you. But yeah, he's still in prototype because we're getting more investors involved. Because sometimes I'll say this just to every entrepreneur: faster or quick is not always the best. I could have got these dolls out trying to flip and hustle, but if you want to go large, you have to create a foundation and a team, and you want to be able to understand and count the costs. There's a lot of businesses that start, but they don't last. So at Reggie Line being a global, not a mom and pops, where I'm trying to take it from Africa to France everywhere, I had to be prepared to carry the weight. That's one thing. You have to be prepared for where you're going. And then the second thing is, just like they say, the Oprah effect or the Shark Tank effect. There was a lot of people that went on these platforms and they couldn't handle the orders. They infrastructure failed. So if I'm going to go global, I had to take time. And it's been 8 years in the making. Like I said, we got a TV show, 10 episodes. All these things are happening around the doll. But to get the right doll is taking a little longer. But I just wanted to share that because I feel a lot of people want to make it overnight. And you may make a couple of bucks, but you won't be able to leave a legacy.
That's right. That's so true.
So I have a little question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When the Reggie the Lion doll comes out, can you ship me 1 or 2? Maybe 4, maybe 5.
I'll talk to your mom. You know you're in my heart. We'll work it out with you. Got you.
Ms. Foreman also put the information, the website in there so people can go on the website and get more information and order. Yes. And Ms. Ruby said, you better share. And they absolutely. So everyone is loving it. And that's
then Daniel Tobe said, so true.
So true. So yes.
Indeed. Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me over here. Go ahead.
Question number, I don't know what. But before I get to that, thank you for being on my podcast.
I'm happy to be on here. For your age, you're doing something like this. Don't take it lightly because you're being an example to a lot of youth. And so it's powerful to start young because as you grow, you'll become a master of something. You don't want to be all over the place. Focus, be a master of where you're going, and you're doing great. You got co-hosts, and then it shows no fear. So you're being a living example, and I'm proud to be on here with you.
Thank you.
You see that, Trinity?
Yes.
You see that, Trinity? Now, the same thing that he just said, doesn't that sound very familiar?
Yes.
Okay. Carry on.
Question number, I have no idea what. What was the experience like to finally get it on television?
Wow, that's a good question. You know, the experience was something big, but in a way I wasn't prepared. Because when I first wanted to go to TV, I wanted to go to full animation. And I'm going to be straight blunt with you. When I found out how much it costs, it's like $50,000 to $100,000 an episode per episode. And you don't really make a lot of money off of it because you're doing advertising and marketing. So unless you get sent to a TV station where they can pay you for it. And so years I left it alone. And then till I met a man and he was looking at me. He said, the way you speak, the way you do, the kids need you. He said, you need to take, and then he loved Reggie Line. You need to go on TV. So I turned him down like 3-4 times. I was like, right now, I don't have the money. And what I've learned is, and I'm going to say this for everybody here, I'll always be hungry, but I'll never be thirsty. I'll always be hungry, grinding. But when you're thirsty, you don't get you don't get quenched. You're just going for anything. And so I done jumped off the porch early, started a couple of businesses. So I didn't push for it. And then I talked to you always got to have the one close to you. I talked to my wife, and she was like, baby, you can do it. So we ended up turning Reggie Line as like Bill Cosby and Friends. I don't know if you know about that, the Cosby Kids, Trinity. I know Sean does, but the Cosby Kids had live action with Bill Cosby and cartoons. So on Reggie Line and Friends, I came on, I'm talking to the kids. I'm going on adventures. We got animated parts for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We got trips like Reading Rainbow where we take the kids to teach them stuff. It just came together great. So for me, it was an accomplishment because first, like I said, I never forget I came from the Chicago projects. I never forget I came from Miami. I was thugging, getting in trouble. I should have been dead 3-4 times. So anytime I accomplished something, I don't want it to go to my head like I could just still be here. So me being on TV for not doing a crime and being in the newspapers, I always celebrated. So to answer your question straightforward, it was exciting to see it done because it was something that God told me. But it was even better to hear the kids and the parents say, "Oh, I love the song," because you got to make a hit song that draws people to the TV. I love the song. I love the things. And then parents are saying, "I watch this more than my kids. I love it." So when you do something like that and you get a good report back from it, yeah, it felt good to be doing the will of God.
Yes. I have two things to say. First, based off what you said, always remain humble. And about the kids and parent part, I watch a movie, right? A certain movie, but my parents don't love it more than I do.
Okay.
It's one specific movie that they don't like.
What's the movie, Trinity?
Do you want me to say it?
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Descendants. It's on Disney.
Okay.
It's not a very popular movie because it was like back in 2015, I think.
Right.
But
well, yeah, parents. My son doesn't like everything I watch, and he's one of the main characters on the animated show Reggie Line and Friends. So that happens, but I wanted to make it in mind to bring families back together. That was the key of it. So I got a lot of pictures of this first book because Reggie the Lion and Friends is a coloring learning book. So there's parents sending me pictures back where they're coloring with their kids and reading with them. So that's what I had in mind. I want to make it where it's childlike, but a certain age could like it. But if you got to understand, Trinity, every grown-up still has a little child in them that didn't get healed, that needs love.
That's true.
So when they see the show, they're like, "Oh my God, I wish I'd had a Reggie Lion the doll. I needed this show." So that's this. But I can't take the credit because I ran away from it. It was God that said, "You can do it and go." And so that's why it's been a blessing across ages, age brackets and stuff, because my mindset was I want to make sure you got to be able to heal the parent. A lot of people are adults, but that don't mean that they're healed and they're grown for real, if that makes sense.
On point. So
I want to say something. I want to say something on that. I just want to chime in because what he just said is very, very important. And as being a life coach and a hypnotherapist practitioner myself, Brother Reggie, there's a lot of individuals that's walking the face of this planet that are adults, but yet, and I'm pretty sure you have heard this too, like they're living like a second childhood, right? Or it's been so much trauma associated that some of them probably had to grow up fast, right? They didn't know what a child was like, aka Michael Jackson, right? R.I.P. So when you said that, it just truly resonated with me because when they're able to watch your show, it triggers something within them. But instead of a negative, it'd be a positive thing, like, "Oh man, yeah, man, you know what? Yo, this is nice. Yeah, I need something like that." And that's another way in which that with your brand that you're able to elevate and help people as well. So I just wanted to say something on that. And my question I wanted to ask you is that when does it air, and how can people, be able to watch it?
Well, it already aired on TV the first season, so we're getting ready to go on to season 2 soon. But it's on YouTube, so all the shows and we create a YouTube channel so those who couldn't see it on TV can see it on YouTube. So the YouTube channel is Reggie the Lion and Friends. You can see all the episodes, 10 episodes on YouTube, Reggie the Lion and Friends. And I want to add, go ahead.
Is that on regular YouTube or is that like YouTube for kids?
Yeah, YouTube channel. Just look up Reggie the Lion and Friends. We have our own YouTube channel. My wife will probably put it in the comments, but it's on YouTube. It's Reggie the Lion and Friends. We have our own YouTube channel. Because that's another thing. Yeah. Because I knew everybody, and that's another thing. I just wanted to be on TV. I didn't want to do YouTube. Everybody was doing it. And that's why I got to listen. You have to listen outside of yourself to wise counsel, but most of all, God. And so when he told me to create the YouTube channel, I'm able to wear, this is a YouTube channel created hoodie. So everywhere I go, people are asking about it. You got to be your own walking. I'm going to tell you something, Trini. You got to be your own billboard. You have to have something where people draw and ask you questions because you can't wait on people. So that's what I learned because I started in fashion years ago. So the YouTube channel ended up being, I'm not looking for, I don't have no problem with YouTube paying me, but I'm not looking for it. I'm looking for a platform that anytime, later night, day, they can just go on and watch the show. So that's what our YouTube channel is about, is a drawing when you don't have to worry about a rerun on TV and all that type of stuff, which I love TV, but we have our own YouTube channel.
Nice.
That's so true because I carry a book bag. It has my logo on it, and I carry my shirts and my books in them. So in the book bag.
And you want to know another thing? I'm gonna tell you and Sean, Trinity.
I
want to say this about the TV show. The other blessing I forgot to say was I didn't have to be an imposter. I can be me. Now I'm gonna say this. I don't have nothing wrong with suits. I don't have nothing. I own one suit. I am an ex-street dude, but I created my own fashion line. So you might see me in a blazer, a hat, and Timbs or tennis shoes. But I was able to create that lane. So when I went on there, one day I was really stressed. Like, man, do I look right for TV? I got on shorts. It was my brand though, because I had a fashion line, faith-based, and that was my shirts. And then someone said to me, "This is what got you here, being yourself." So I used to didn't like to hear myself speak. After I would speak when I first started, I said, "You sound too country and ghetto." I wanted to sound like Les Brown, and I wanted to sound like Tom. I wanted to sound like all these individuals, but I had to be me. I hope Trinity is hearing it because she went off. I had to be me because there's a certain audience, a demographic that's going to draw to you. You can't reach everyone. And so when I look on there and see the ex-thug, big black guy, I'm like, hey, but it draw people in being myself because I was, in the beginning, I was going to try to dress up and look like what a talk show host looks like. That's what I was thinking in my mind. And I had to realize you're wearing your own brand on TV. Be yourself. So I wanted to plug that in there for everybody that's listening.
Yeah, that was very, very powerful right there. And as Trinity is getting her camera situated, for all those that may be just tuning in or even catch this on a replay, welcome to a very special episode here from Lil Tren. We have a voice, along with Transformation Greatness and SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is episode number 374, and we have here Mr. Reggie, the co-founder and innovator of Reggie Lion and Friends. And hey, you know what? He's dropping gems here. If you guys are loving this, please smash the heart button. If you guys have questions for Mr. Reggie, now's the time to go ahead and ask because he's dropping a lot of knowledge. And if I were you and that listening audience, I'm going to be asking a whole bunch of questions because that's how you learn and that's how you grow. Because he's been dropping some gems here. He's been dropping some gems here. So, Trinity, since that you're the host, I'll put it back on to you.
So, like Mr. Sean said, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Also, if you have anything to say, any comments, don't be afraid to ask. But question number, I don't know what. I'm going to keep saying that. How did you come up with the idea for a sneakers and clothing app?
That's a good question. The sneakers, I'm going to show them again. I'm going to plug them continuously. Both two-tone Reggie Lion. They look like the Chucks. How did I come up with the sneakers? That's another thing. Sometimes we think that if we don't get this big deal or we don't go huge, we can't do something. Because the budget of the TV show, if I tell anybody that knows about television, we went on a small budget, but it was all blessed. So the shoe line, I came up with the concept because it was an app that I know could make the shoes, and I said, let me try it. And it just happened to be the right time that I could afford to reproduce them, keep flipping. So I just did it, and man, they came out good. But that's because growing a brand. You know, you always want to grow your brand. There's different streams of income. And I just believed that I could. And I already started with fashion. I tell people when I coach speakers, I say, when you go speaking at a table and you have nothing, people want to buy you. I don't care if it's a pen, a booklet with your name. They want to buy you. So I could make either from 600,000 at my table, even if I don't get paid to speak, because I keep products on it. And so that was another thing about me. I'm a product person. So I can go I was thinking about how I can get shoes. And I looked it up, Trina. I said, okay. And they just end up being dope, and I love them. And apparently I got some people that have been buying them. They love them too.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Trini?
It's me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I might have to steal your idea for the shoes.
Hey, once you make them yours, they're yours. Because remember, Trini, it was shoes out before I was born.
That's all right.
Long as you don't use Reggie Lion face and copy infringe, you all right. You can make your own shoes.
She sure can.
Oh, I'm not saying all that. I'm using my stuff. So I'm gonna use the same shoe.
Yeah, you can make your own shoes. It is possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I have your mission statement, but which state is to help children on a global level to believe before can doubt?
You want me to comment on that one?
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that statement. Say that again.
I have your mission statement. Which state is to help children on a global level to believe before can doubt? Also, because this is a two-piece question.
Believe before they can doubt.
Also, because this is a two-piece question, how does this mission statement come about?
Okay, that's a good question. It really was told to me. I was at my sister in Christ's house, and I have to say this for people who believe, but a prophet is someone that predicts the future or foretells what. No, I don't want to say like a predicts the future, but someone that gives a word from God and they tell you, they can tell you your future, they can give you words, whatever. But I ain't talking about like a psychic, prophet of God. But anyway, I was at the house. This man walked right past me. He looked at me and he stopped. He said, "You're going to help children believe before they can doubt." He said, "I had a vision. I see kids in the crib listening to the doll. I see them running around, the 2-3-year-olds dragging a doll around." So I took that from what he said. Why? Because in the womb, and we got psychologists, we got psychologists and Head Start student teachers, they're all saying how the doll, even when the woman is pregnant, can hear the positive affirmation, the words, and they'll be able to hear and develop their brain. From the ages from 0 to 5, they say, or 0 to 7, or 0 to 5, you have to catch a child's mind. And so, Reggie the Lion, if you're teaching them positive affirmations, I'm smart. My son says them every morning. You got to see him. He has cerebral palsy, he's in a wheelchair, but you hear him, I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm blessed, I can do it. See, he repeats that. So it has to sooner or later, if you keep putting it in your psyche, you'll speak it and then you can believe it. And
Absolutely.
so our mission is to, just like the man told me, I want them to hear this doll while they're playing around with it. If you continuously, just like you see, if you constantly listen to gangster rap, I'm telling you, Tupac was mine. It was things I did while the music was playing. It can have your psyche believing something. So we want the children to keep believing how smart they are, how strong they are, how beautiful they are, how intelligent they are, how blessed they are. So you can believe something you might not be able to see it. So that's how it came about, Trini. Once I heard him say that, I knew what I had to do, and that's what I knew the doll was going to do. He was going to help children believe before they can even doubt.
And that's what I'm trying to work on. That's what I'm working on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And I'm telling you, Trini, you're doing a great job. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just saying that is amazing. And Trinity, yeah, absolutely is doing such a great job. And man, she's so, light years ahead.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
my
Trini is dope, man, for real.
Oh my goodness. Woo.
Thank
and that's how I want my son to be doing what you're doing, Trini. See, he can look up to you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you.
Y'all got her up here blushing.
That's the truth. She got a huge responsibility.
Sitting on this stage all the time, 300 some interviews, interviewing people. Nah, that ain't easy at all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not at all.
All right, what else you got for me, Trini?
Bonus question.
See, we got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Not you. I'm saying in the comments. Not you. You're doing good. I was looking at the comments.
What made you start a show and why?
So
Why did you
what
start?
made me start the show? Like I said, it was first of all, it's a thought anyway. I always wanted to create something like Disney. That's first thing. And I had to study them in Warner Brothers with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse. I wanted to do that. And then in the Christian faith, it's called Veggie Tales. So I always wanted to do that. That's where Reggie Lion came out. So I knew I couldn't duplicate anything unless I had a TV show. I already have films written down and everything because my gift is writing. I'll just be writing like water and won't stop. So I have things written down. So I always wanted to do that because I knew in the faith-based area, there's a big market that's wide open. VeggieTales is gone, and there's nothing there. And so now I didn't come out wanting to do no toys. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think about doing no children's toys. It was something God showed me. Like I said, when my child died. But if I'm gonna be showed something, that's one thing about Reggie. You ask anybody that mentor me or who hang around me, I'm going hard. I'm gonna create something big. And so that's how I believe. Just like when I was in the streets, I go hard. Bank robbery. didn't work out long, but that's what I was doing. So what I'm saying is, with Reggie the Lion, I wanted to go big. And like I said, someone came to me and kept telling me they had a TV station platform in Atlanta, and they kept saying, you need to be on TV. We want to get you on here. So after a while, I already had the idea. I just agreed, and that's what made me do it. I'm going after Disney, Trinity. I'm going big.
As you should. As you should. As you should.
Go big or go home.
Here it is. Plain
So,
simple.
how can the heartbeats reach you?
Well, you can reach me. My Facebook is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How can the heartbeats reach you or contact you?
Okay, you can reach me on my Facebook is Reginald Foreman. And it says God made a parentheses. God made. You see the picture. You'll see Reggie Lion and Friends in the top. My website is ReggieTheLion.com. Personal website is ReginaldForeman.com. As a speaker, I coach and I travel. So you got ReginaldForeman.com. You got ReggieTheLion.com. And my Facebook is Reginald Foreman. My Instagram is Reginald_Foreman. And that's how you can reach me.
Go back there, please.
And it's called Reggie the Lion and Friends on YouTube. Reggie the Lion and Friends on YouTube.
I'm gonna pass it over to Mom because I think Facebook has some comments.
And Ms. Foreman, thank you for putting the information back in there for me. And if you can you also put the Instagram and all the other information?
The website.
Yes.
For all the social media platforms, correct. If you can put all that in the comment section, so that
Mr.
way.
Reginald, please,
correct.
And thank you, Ms. Foreman. So Daniel Tobe asks, so it's called Reggie the Lion and Friends, but what are the friends' names and purpose?
Okay. So these are the friends. Oh, this light. You see them?
Yes.
So
okay.
You have Reggie the Lion. You have Regina the Lioness. Then my son JB Foreman, and that's Timothy the Eagle. That's Jeremiah, and that's Charlie the Cheetah. So each character will be a rollout, like how Bugs Bunny and Friends, Mickey Mouse and Friends. But like Reggie, if you see Jeremiah, his purpose is to show kids who are born with disability that they can do great things. Then you have, of course, you got to have the female lioness, the queen, Regina the Lioness. Then you have Charlie the Cheetah. He's the hip hop character. He has an earring. He has a gold watch. He likes rap music. Then Timothy the Eagle is the nerd. He's the one when people look at him, he might, feel down. He's the nerd. He's the quirky guy. And then you have Jeremiah. Now, this is the funny part. Jeremiah, which is my son's real name, was the first character. When you see him standing, I was creating him as he was going to be. And then one day, me and my wife were sitting there talking. I was like, let's put Jeremiah out as he is now in a wheelchair. Let's show who my son is. So I did JB Foreman, but Jeremiah was the first character, which is named after my son Jeremiah. So each one of them has their own, and I'll probably add another character. But yes, there'll be rollouts with their own thing. Like I said, when you think about the characters, Reggie Lion and Friends, think about your Mickey Mouse and Friends, your Bugs Bunny and Friends, how each one of them, from Daffy Duck, you know what I mean, to Winnie the Pooh and all of them, they all have their own And that's how we're gonna keep rolling it out.
Nice. Nice. That is
Sure to tell,
visionary. Yeah, I'm sorry, Trinity. Go ahead.
make sure to tell your son and wife I said hi.
Oh man, you know it. I'm gonna tell him my wife is online, she's watching, we love you.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Hi, Miss Foreman.
And Miss Ruby said, Trinity Davis, I believe in you. Positive affirmation. This is amazing. And positive self-affirmation. And hello, Miss Emily and Miss Fiza is also watching. And Miss Isaiah Williams. Welcome again to Little Tren. We have a voice. This is with Transformation Greatness with the Small Business Network. This is episode 374. And that is all. And Mrs. Foreman said, hello, Trinity. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Well, unfortunately, so unfortunate. That is all for this evening. But once again, before we go, I want to say thank you to my co-hosts, my guests, and the Heartbeats for being such an amazing audience.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me.
And also, before we go, if you have any youth or anybody that does amazing you can contact my mom at Latanya Davis on Facebook.
Ooh.
Remember, Heartbeats, never give up.
All right, good people.
All right. Awesome.